Now on to kick this one away.
The Ravens take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up first and 10. Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25. 3 yards on the pickup there, and they've got it back to 3rd and 10.
Brings up 3rd and 9.
On the ready, 52. Mike 52. Go. Go. Where's the ready?
3rd down. Here's Haskins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Hey, lock it. Go out. Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
That'll get a little bit back, give him 5 on the run, and they'll be left with a 3rd and 13.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd.
Hey, Haywood. Get it.
Operating from the gun, Perkins. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Ravens, they'll take over.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
At the 21-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, here's Haskins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now Haskins. Hey, right on cue. They set up the screen and complete it. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Check. Fresno.
They go play action now. Haskins got Gordon open, completes it. Give him 6 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down.
Not only did we just see back-to-back nice gains, but we're also seeing the confidence rise, not just for the guy who caught it, but the guy throwing it as well.
And these back-to-back catches here out of the backfield, that can set something up downfield in a later sequence, right?
A lot of the time, it starts to draw the defense closer to the line of scrimmage. So to your point, show this swing pass, show this check down. Maybe later on you heave one deep when you catch him close to the spot.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Haskins. That'll be taken in there by Miles Boykin. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 36.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Baltimore, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
First red zone chance now for the Ravens. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Running right, it's a handoff to Gordon. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
It's now 3rd and 5.
The Ravens on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. That's complete. It's Gordon. And they will get to him at the 7 and stop him short of the 1st down marker. 4 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. So on 4th down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker Justin Tucker out onto the field. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Tucker's kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, Perkins. And that will be incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. Fielded at the 20. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Following the penalty, here's Gordon. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a 1st down if not for that penalty moments ago.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. Out of the shotgun, Haskins looking deep downfield. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been.
That's going to be caught by Ross for a Bengal touchdown. John Ross, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. His first career touchdown pass, and you know, it's cliche to say, but he's probably been envisioning this since he was a little kid. That's a cool moment.
It really is. So enjoy the moment, enjoy the time, celebrate, save the full reflection for later, but make sure you grab someone on the sidelines and say, hey, make sure I get that football, okay?
The extra point up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Unable to stop KJ right there as he slips by for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. Looking to throw, Haskins. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete.
He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up. What?
Throwing on third and long. Haskins. He gets it to Brown. Complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown. His fourth touchdown on the year. And the Ravens cut into that lead.
I think if you pulled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
To throw on second down, Perkins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
An incomplete pass on second down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is third and 10. Back to throw. Perkins. And Eifert has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Set. 10-2 stop. Watch the run, watch the run, watch the run. Hey, Charlie. 5.
On first down, Perkins. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Back to the air on second down. Perkins. They'll set up the screen here to mix it. It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a third down. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Second down pass play got them 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. Looking to throw. Perkins. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's fourth down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by mantic815's, and he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. So now 2 pick sixes that he's thrown in this first half of play. Where do you go from here?
But number one, make sure you keep your poise. Make sure you go to the sideline after throwing this second one, and you look like you're still in charge, that you're still the guy, because your team's going to feed off of you. And if you're having your hands on your head or shaking your head and walking with your head down, guess what? They're not going to rally at all.
The Ravens take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Towards the end zone for Brown. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Marquise Brown, as time expires in the first half. And the Ravens get a bit closer. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Jalen Mills. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Look, squeeze. Hey, zoom. Get it.
They'll try to get the run game going. This is Mixon. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
Going to throw deep for the end zone. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. John Ross, the one he was looking for. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Hey, orbit.
To throw on third down. Perkins to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And his kick is indeed good. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. A run there on first down gets 3 up to the 28. Defensively, Sam Hubbard, the former Buckeye, there to stop him.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. He really hasn't been able to get on track running the football, averaging less than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, I think that they're going to enjoy the film session because all the defenders are filling their proper gaps on just about every play. And you know what they always say for a defensive coach? When I click off this film, I better see 11 jerseys in the picture going after the ball carrier.
Man open, that's Robert Foster, complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 45-yard line. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Now they run from the gun with Gordon. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 44, Haskins. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Haskins on 3rd down. Gets it to Gordon. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 25-yard line. Haskins looking to throw on first down. And now here is another interception. William Jackson with a pick. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Bengals, they widen their lead. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
This is Gordon as they go to him again. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
On first down, it's Haskins. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Well, you got a young quarterback. You know, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now it's Haskins. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as they'll go for it on 4th down.
He's crashing. He's checking crash.
And they'll indeed go for it with Haskins. And he's got Snead. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. Now Gordon on first down. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Here we go, D. Here I come again.
Now on 2nd and 13. Haskins. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 35. Back now in Baltimore. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Now it's Haskins. He's got his man. It's Andrews. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end. Take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The Ravens on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, now Haskins. Able to get this to Gordon. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They're going to run. This is Gordon. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Gordon. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Another tote for Gordon. He's been busy this afternoon. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
They'll run here with Ingram. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up 4th down. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th.
Mike's farther on it. Here we go, here we go. Check 59, Mike. Mike is 59. Mike to 59. We own them. We own it.
They'll try and throw forward with Haskins. Snead's got it. And he will be brought down well shy of the goal line. They get the completion but cannot push forward into the end zone, and that will force a turnover on downs. The Bengals drive about to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. That's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now Joe Mixon. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. 12 yards that time, and a Cincinnati 1st down.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be giving a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line. Yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
You don't want no problem from me.
So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Again, it's Howard. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And that'll cut the lead back now to 21. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going, and a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all three timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. The run there on first down gets him a yard to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Got it. Mike 51. Heavy on the edges. Heavy on the edges. Get it.
And they take a knee. Now let's see. Yeah, the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Bengals, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.